Perfect. All right, give me 1 second. So hello, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of Connie's Crit X Fida. So I'm really excited to host a crit with you and start discussing fashion drawing. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm also an illustrator and a fashion drawing lecturer. And I've been illustrating for a while now, and I've always been passionate about the craft of drawing and what's going on behind the scenes of the creative process. And I think the insight to an artist's process and journey is something that's very intimate and personal and something special that I felt like it needed a light to shine on it. So I was very honored when Fida brought this to the table and asked me to host, as we were talking about what we're trying to come up with and bring to the general public is that like Show Studio has these panels and talks about designers and their clothes, but what's missing within our industry is just having a discussion about the drawing aspect of fashion. And so we were trying to create a space which we called Connie's Crit, because I had lots of crit when I was going to art school, and I found it really beneficial, where it's just a space where we can all feel safe to, critique, create dialogue, exchange thoughts, give advice, like suggest ideas, and the artists can get constructive feedback from the artwork that are created from the live shows. And we actually challenged our members because the Simone Rocha show just was on, I think, about 2 hours ago, maybe 3. And so we wanted to challenge the artists because there's a lot of competition that we have with photography, and the photos are out within like 15 minutes of the show. And so how can we as illustrators compete with that? And what can fashion illustrators bring to this table that's different from photography? And so I think the focus of the conversation is, what's the role of fashion illustration today, especially in the commercial world, and how can we compete with photographers? So we have invited a panelist, and I just wanted to have the panelists introduce themselves, because I can talk forever, but I think it's better if it comes from the panelists. So maybe Heather, you can go first and introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Connie. My name is Heather Sproat. I'm BA Fashion Women's Wear Pathway Leader at Central St Martin's College of Art and Design. I've been teaching for about 20 years. I've had a design career. I've worked in Paris, at Dior, and at Louis Vuitton. I've done lots and lots of freelance. I am an absolute passionate believer in the power of drawing for design. The core of our course starts with drawing, and whatever you want to know about kind of drawing and how important it is in the design process, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Hey, thank you so much. And we also have Francesco, if you want to go next.
Yeah, sure. So hello, everyone. It's Francesco. I'm an illustrator. It's been 10 years now. I mean, like many creators have been drawing since forever, but it's been like in the last 10 years, I'm doing this more professionally. And I've been working mainly with fashion clients, beauty clients, lifestyle. And I also have a kind of nice experience in sketching live during fashion shows and backstage. So I kind of get the pressure all the illustrators are like feeling right now, because it's really hard sometimes. So, and yeah, like in my case, really, when I was working backstage, it's in a way more really complicated. But even working from a live video pictures in this really small amount of time, it's hard. So I really look forward to see the works.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And then we also have Celia.
Hi, yes, I'm Celia Mastorchio, a French visual storyteller and artist. I do collage and animation for the world of jewelry. And I also write for a luxury magazine where I have created chroniques to present different artists and highlight their art, their vision, and to show how they can highlight the communication of the luxury world.
Cool, thanks. And then lastly, we have Ivana.
Hi everyone. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure being here with all of you and discussing the fashion illustration. I'm a great believer that the fashion illustration should get even stronger. Now more than ever, we need to express and to use this medium as much as possible, using the digital and the hand drawing. My background is a fashion designer. I've been working in the fashion industry for over 20 years, and now I'm a director of education, offices in Tomago in Florence. So hello from Florence to everyone.
That's amazing. Very cool. So we have our wonderful panelists, and I'm so thankful that you're participating. This is a great pleasure for us. I'm just going to share my screen, and the first person we've actually chosen is Kate. So Kate Nassas, if you're here.
Yes.
If you're here, okay, let me just pull up your drawings, which we thought were amazing. Let's share my screen. Oh, Patrick, can I share my screen? Okay, yeah. So we have. So can everybody see this? Yeah, so if you want to tell us a little bit about your process, what you thought, how you could capture the essence of Simone Rocha, and what inspired you, and why you chose this particular look.
Okay, I will try. It was very interesting for me because I'm not used to drawing quickly. I like to draw I like to spend more time to draw for drawing.
Yeah.
And it was a very interesting experience. Drawing the first sketch, it took me 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And the second one 35 minutes.
Yeah.
I draw digitally.
Yeah.
I used iPad, and I really impressed with this collection because I like this black and white accents.
Mm-hmm.
And combined with the large skirts. I like this very much.
Mm-hmm. So how did you feel about the collection in terms of like, what was the main thing that you tried to grab the essence of from the collection?
Okay, I tried to draw with, I tried to use black color and white, and I wanted to give to my illustrations expression.
I'm actually going to show you the other one as well. So let me just, hold on, sorry. Let me just go on my, yeah. Can everybody see that? Yeah.
Yes.
So we have these two drawings.
Thank you.
Sorry, go on. Did you have anything more to add? I really love the expressions of the face. I think it's quite interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, so if our panelists want to comment about maybe what they feel about the drawing, how it captures the essence of Simone Rocha, or anything. Any feedback?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me already?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I do love this. Really, I think what's really working here is how the silhouette was drawn, let's say. I think maybe it's better working with the silhouette in white, because the other one, but just in the background, there's also black. So maybe, let's say it's not that readable, the second one. but I think like both are working, both get the vibe of a fashion show with this classic runway pose. And I love the face as well. And there's much detail actually. So like even if it's like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, there's enough details. And I think it's part of the task when you really draw live, you really need to convey instantly the vibe of the collections. But at the same time, I think you need to stay as faithful as possible to the designs. And it's quite hard. So I think it's well done, honestly.
Thank you.
Yes, I can keep.
Yeah.
I go there. Hello, Kate.
Hello.
I'm not an illustrator, so I don't know if my word can. I just talk like someone that see what you do and how I feel, and both are very beautiful and perfect. But my emotions go really on the first one, because the second one is perfect, but the first one I feel like a kind of essence in it. You see, for me, you see a lot of movement, you see all the data. You can imagine, I don't know, but that there are different shape on it, the one with the details and the ones that are behind. And I feel emotions about the first one with, it seems like at the same time you do it quickly, and quickly you felt something and you put it with just some parts that will express something and others that are less, more sober. I don't know if I am clear.
Yeah, that's very
Yes,
clear.
it's clear.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And can I jump in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I mean, I agree. I think for me, the first one has a lot more character in the line, and it's particularly in the mark making and the scribbles that I think, with all of the embroidery details, where you can sense the urgency in you getting it down. They're not too thought out, they're not too considered, and I think that has really added to the character of the drawing. That's what I would say.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
And Ivana?
Okay, I would like to add also that my eye was captured by the second one. I know that the first one, because of the color, there's more movement and the detail, but the second one, it's the way that she managed to capture the details, black on black, and with very few movements. It gives the mature hands of a very interesting illustrator. Congratulations, Kate. This is really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very contemporary and fresh, and still I can see all the details, all the construction of the garment. Well done.
I have a question about a topic that came up is, how is it different from doing analog to digital? Because so many young people now are just doing everything on the iPads. And I was just wondering how everybody feels about that.
So personally, I only do analog. I mostly use watercolor, and then of course I scan it. So there's a little bit of retouching on Photoshop, but like I don't draw on iPad or digitally. But honestly, I'm open to it. Honestly, I hope like one day I'm gonna try myself out.
Yeah.
But and also like I don't think there are like fixed rules. I hear sometimes either saying, oh yeah, right now everybody needs to draw on iPad. I don't think they need. I think it's an option. And I think both are welcome. And honestly, as long as we can create, for me it's okay.
Yeah. Do you find it a bit different? Because you do a lot of backstage and runway shows, and you know, when you actually go to the runway shows and you have all your materials and you're playing, and then there's people sitting next to you, you're like, ah.
Yeah, that's very complicated most of the time, you know, because backstage can be very, very crowded. So on one hand, like during backstage, I have more time than like a single show, of course, but it's very, very crowded. Like, and also like nobody cares about Illustrator, you know. Like, so yeah, but it's exciting, of course, and I think like I've been doing this in the last 5 years, maybe, like before COVID, of course. And I think each time after time, it's like I'm learning. So also about like what kind of materials I can bring. I think like the less is better for sure. Like I think the very first time I bring all my stuff, like, okay, I may need this, I may need this. And then I'm going to understand like, okay, I don't really need this stuff. I won't have the time to use them. So yeah, like very essential.
So how does that differ in the education world?
I mean, I'll jump in and say, for me, I think it depends where you are in your career, because for us, when we're working with people who are, you know, just at the beginning, it's really important that they develop their skills. So of course, we're going to encourage people to draw as much as possible, whether it's digitally or whether it's analog. But I think the more you're doing figurative drawing, the more then you're able to interpret that. So for me, the analog stands as the foundation and the practice, and it's the practice of the practice which really is going to build up your skills. So if you want to have a go at digital, then you've already got, you know, a whole bunch of kind of tools or tricks that you can play with. I also think that digital can if you've got a brush in your hand and you're forced to make a decision and to make your mark and to go with it, you know, yeah, you can draw over it, yeah, you can, but it makes you commit to the line. And I think with digital, it's very easy to do 8, 9, 10 iterations of something and you know, and then take something back. And maybe that's part of the charm that you can get with digital, because you can have things which are so layered, the texture develops and they become something else, something different. So I wouldn't be encouraging people, young people particularly, just to work in digital, because I think there's so much that you can gain in terms of how you move your hand-eye coordination, how you express yourself with your mark making, physically or digitally. But I think you need to practice your analog drawing in order that you can be a good digital illustrator.
Yeah, have a good foundation base. Yeah, absolutely.
I also agree, because it's very important to cut and paste and touch and sharpen your pencils. So you have to go through that phase in order to go to the stage to going with the digital illustrations. So it is fundamental to start with the analog first.
And is that still really important in fashion design, or, you know, in the first years, like learning how to draw?
Yes, in our program, we always start first with the analog. So the first year will be definitely only experimenting with the different techniques, proportions and all of that. The second year, then we go more in depth with the digital, implementing and mixing as well very often.
Yeah, I love it. It's like I was saying in the other chat, it's like reading a book. You know, when you buy a fresh new book and then you smell it, when you open it, you smell it. It's so nice in the paper, the textures. I just think you can't beat that sometimes. It's quite nice. So the next artist
it's nice to have both, isn't it, Connie? It's nice to have the digital book, because it's easy to put it when you travel, but then at home it's nice to open your book.
Definitely. So the next artist is Analog, and I'm just going to share her work, or share. And we have this illustration here. Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Montserrat. Am I saying your name right? Where did she go? Is she here?
Yes, I think she's muted.
Hello.
Oh, hi. How are you? It's nice to meet you and put a face to the artwork. Do you want to explain a little bit about your artwork, about how you got inspired, how you're feeling while doing it? Like a little bit of an insight to your process.
Yes. First of all, so sorry, because I posted very late, 5 minutes previous the Zoom. My process is very easy. I usually have a look on the collection, or maybe it's the same process as I do when I'm watching a magazine. So I pay special attention in the details, and then I began to draw with a Bolivic.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I don't have any special process. Just draw.
Yeah. Just draw.
So yes. Whatever I see and I love, I put in my illustration, and then maybe I try to mix everything with the color, but I don't usually put too much color. I work with watercolor because I don't want to paste. I don't know how to explain this. I don't love illustrations with a lot of color, or I don't know.
You're more monochromatic. Is that what you're trying to say? More black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
monochromatic. Yeah. I mean, I think it's lovely. It has a nice ethereal quality to it. And I always feel like when somebody uses watercolor ink, it captures that dreamy, fluid feeling.
More real.
Yeah. So with the panelist critique, who wants to go first?
Can I go?
Yeah.
So yes, I know most of her works already, and I love it. I think what I like it here is the composition, of course, because like personally, it's not something I wouldn't do. Like one work live are ready to be simple in a way. So I think I would be too scared actually like to approach a full composition like this with, I don't know, 5 characters. So yeah, well, that's this night, and it works also. Like personally, of course, I do composition when I work for my studio, but it's really much well thought than live sketching. So I think here it's great. Like you took the time to include many looks and to create a composition. So it's daring, great.
I can follow.
Yeah.
Me, I really like the way you create the composition. It makes me think of some poster of cinema, you know, like the Star Wars poster or Indiana Jones, where you have many compositions, and it's hard to create a good composition without having many things. And I like the fact that some part of the element are almost not here. We can just imagine them. That will make highlight just some part. Like this, for example, we see a lot the top of the woman on the right, and with the element on the neck. And I really like that. This kind of thing you choose to put some elements and details, and the rest is almost part of our imagination.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Okay, shall I go, Connie?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Hi, Montserrat. So nice to see you. Congratulations on your success, and we're following you. And we're so glad to see your work. Even now, I can see the good taste. First of all, blending all these figures together. Definitely, this kind of work in progress. It gives very contemporary feel. It can be messy, but at the same time brings a lot of emotion. So very good vibe, definitely. Here we don't talk about details, we don't talk about shapes, but only bringing the emotion, the richness of the collection, and I can feel that immediately. So well done. You really managed to capture this beautiful work.
Okay, thank you. Can I say something to you, Ivana?
Yes, Montserrat.
I met you when I was in Firenze because I was in Marangoni.
I know, and we're following you with your tutors, Strecapede. I'm always having updates. We're so glad to.
And
Yes.
you taught, you were the teacher of Vanessa and friends of mine. Yeah. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yes, exactly.
So
Well done. Well done. So come to see us next time you're in Florence.
Oh yes, sure.
Such a small world.
Yes.
Heather, would you like to continue?
Yep, I just wanted to add what I liked about this was I kind of felt there was a consideration, there was a delicate element to the line and to the mark making, but it was completely unself-conscious. You know, it felt you'd really got into the flow as you were doing it, and you know that kind of rhythm just kind of jumps off the page. And I really like how you've jumped in between different types of mark making with the addition of the extra, all the water at the top. So we've got, you know, a little bit of bleeding. So that's what I enjoyed about this, the kind of the rhythm that you'd created.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. And it's so nice to see all the work next to like the digital and the analog and how it can really deliver a different feeling. And so I was just wanting to throw a question out to the panel about how this can really compete with photography in a sense. Like I mentioned earlier in the talk, and this will be nice to hear from your perspective within your profession to kind of give our artists insight to how we can compete with photography in a sense that, you know, the shows are coming out so quick and that we need to be in that space and be present in that space and show ourselves. So I was just wondering if you had any like feedback or advice for our artists in your perspectives.
Shall I go first? Or?
Yes,
yeah.
You can go first.
I mean, for me, we're all, you know, our students leave with portfolios. That's the key to opening the door for them to the industry. And I'm always talking to them about the fact that, you know, good illustration, practice your drawing, make those illustrations beautiful. It can grab somebody's heart and bang it on the table. You know, you can use mind control over them because you've got a beautiful drawing. People, it raises the level of your portfolio to artifact and shows you as an artist. It's a way of you really expressing. I mean, they do have strong fashion imagery with photography as well, but that drawing is rightly or wrongly used as a gauge of talent. And, you know, we want our students to have the opportunity to get to where they want to go, you know, for doors to be opened for them on their own, you know, because they've got strong work to show. And I just think that the illustration can really change someone's view of the work.
Definitely think so. So important. Anybody else?
Yeah, I do agree. But I think photography and illustration can like live together. Like there's no really competition in a way. I think it's like illustration today, it's an alternative. And I think it should be an alternative for those brands, those clients, those designers that really want to add something new, to add a new value to their marketing strategy, or just to their aesthetic or their image, the brand image. So I think like illustration, of course, it's a reality, of course, it's an alternative, and of course, it has its value. And maybe what I've also been trying myself, like in my career, is really to target those brands that, of course, have a certain sensibility to art, to watercolor, to illustration. And I think, of course, it's not the cup of tea of everyone. Like there are brands that are open to work with illustrators, with artists, and other maybe, yeah, they do prefer, like, I don't know, a lookbook, a photo lookbook. which is like kind of classic. And it really depends also on the set of brand, if it's a young brand, so they like to experiment, or if it's a brand with a huge history. I think anything is possible, and maybe you just need to push, like, and to present your vision. And once again, the portfolio, of course, it's like key to present your work. So it's the same for me. Like I've been having meetings with different clients where they were amazed, like, oh, you've done this in 10 minutes. And so, of course, they get curious, but maybe, yeah, we need to push a little more.
Yeah, we definitely need to push. And I think this is a really good conversation to have in order to go forward and push fashion illustration along with photography. That makes sense. Celia,
because usually I talk in the second, so maybe I wanted to know if Ivana wants to talk before I talk, because I don't want to take the lead each time. So do you want to talk before?
Yeah, we have lots of time.
So to come back a little to what you said, I agree for different things. First of all, I imagine the world is made of different colors. And if photography, for example, is blue, and we have all a world of blue, will be very boring. So we need many things. And we have to remind that when we see for fashion or luxury or anything, to like something, we have to be connected. And to be connected means that we feel a soul in the identity of the brand. And the soul is created thanks to heart, because heart, you as illustrator, you position yourself in the continuity of some, for example, classical painter, where you take the time with your own style, with different tools and your vision. And if you love your heart, you will speak and tell something. And this is that creates beauty, and beauty creates emotion. And without that, we cannot feel connected to any brands, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And you work in the magazine publishing sector as well. So is that something, because in the magazine world, there's a lot of photos along with drawings. So I was just wondering how that kind of affects the way you do your articles or your journals, because you get to choose, right?
I think this is very important in the magazines to mix that. For example, I will see on magazines for where the illustrator Hossein Borogeni made some kind of hunk, how will you say it, hunk?
Quick sketch.
India uncle. He draws, you know, with the ink. Sorry. And he had some jewels of a back shot made with photography, so it's a mix of both. And it changed, it created kind of a rhythm in the magazines. And you know, the magazines where I interview you, I have to show it to you. Yes, I have it with the story letters. I think that it goes out of the rest, because you see many photos, and one moment we see your drawings and we are like, wow, you see, it changed. It creates a kind of breath.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
To connect also to what Celia was saying, we last year had some fashion styling students coming to me and asking for some illustration lessons, because during the summer they had internship, and working for a magazine, they have been asked also to do some illustration, and they felt embarrassed. Oh my God, we are not illustrators. So we decided to open a free course, illustration course, also for our styling students.
Oh, wow.
So it's becoming more and more important as a medium of expression, mixing the photography and the illustration, even for the styling, for the stylist figure. Yeah.
It's amazing because it's important, I think. It's a very good project.
That gives us hope.
Yes, definitely.
Yay. That makes me super happy.
And another thing, Connie, we talk with a lot of companies, and when they ask for portfolios to see, because they're opening internship positions and some also job offers here in Italy, the first thing that they would like to see a strong hand drawing from the designer. So it is very important.
Yeah, to
It
have the
is
hands.
becoming, especially for accessories, the accessories industry, they were putting a lot of attention to the digital illustration. Now more than ever, they said, no, we want illustrators actually, as designers. We need both because it gives more emotion, and we can read better the ideas rather than just technical drawings colored in Illustrator. So yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy. It's like good news.
Yes.
You know, so I feel like we've been doing this for so long, and we're like, we need some.
And thanks to Fida, to you and Patrick Morgan, we are putting the illustration again on a very high level, giving a lot of importance, and we are happy to be part of it.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
As educators, yeah.
Yeah, we're all part of it in the end. So we have another artist, Elena. We chose yours. She's here. Let me share my screen. We loved this one because we thought it was really interesting, lots of energy. I mean, it's digital still, but are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh yeah, okay. Do you want to just give us like a quick rundown of your, your process, your thoughts, or maybe even a little bit of how you felt while you're drawing this? Because sometimes when I'm illustrating, like I have these like feelings, deep feelings, and I try to channel it onto the page. So I'm just interested and curious to see how you go about it.
Yeah. So thank you so much for choosing me. It's a huge honor. Yeah. So I drew this digital on my iPad, Procreate, and so I was super inspired by this collection. It's just incredible. I want to just draw every single look, literally. So it's great for artists to just have so many details, and this collection is just incredible. And yeah, I wanted to show these ideas of the moving, like kind of like you can see the energy and you can feel the texture. So I put the different texture for different fabrics, so you can feel like leather, jacket, and cotton, like beautiful skirts, and all this kind of dance together. And I love to mix different materials, like and my idea is, even use digital, I try to like keep this old, hand drawing style. Like it's hard to see it's digital or not. So this is, I guess, my style and maybe a goal. And some point, and this is pretty much, that's it.
Yeah, I do feel like even though it is digital, it's very loose, because sometimes when you think of digital drawing, it's so perfected. So I'm gonna like challenge you and give you a challenge on perhaps you can do this exact same drawing on analog and then compare the two. I think that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. Yes,
you probably did it already.
Yeah, I actually did it.
Okay, that's great.
I love it. Yeah, so I did actually it's how I jumped to digital. So first I did draw an oil on the canvas, and I wanted kind of like have the copy, and I did it in digital. And it's because in digital sometimes it's just easy to even for exhibitions, and just print the posters, all this. You can copy. So and this is how I started. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I accept your challenge. I can do it.
So we would like to hear from our panelists. Anybody can go first.
Yeah, should I go?
Yeah, Francesco.
Yeah, it's great. Really, I love this space very much. As you said, it's true. Like, I mean, I can tell it's digital, but I still have a doubt, like a tiny doubt, and I love it. It's very true. Sometimes I feel like digital, it's too much artificial, let's say. But in this case, I love it. Like there's still a little doubt, and you can really tell if it's digital or not. And it's really working. I do love the vibe. It's very one way vibe. I love the atmosphere. Honestly, I'm very much in love with this. Just like, so this is the only one you did from the collection? Is the only one you did?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So why did you pick this look? Because I think it was on one of the last ones.
We
yes,
we gave them a warm up. You can draw from the previous collection because the collection came out late.
Okay.
Online.
Yeah, no, it's really beautiful. Congrats.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Celia.
No, you go this time.
Oh no, thank you. So I think yes, there is a lot of drama, a lot of contrast, and it will capture immediately your eye. This contrast, the black and white, and strong emotions, and the red one that you really render it very well with all the shadings. It is very beautiful, very beautiful. Then I don't understand, but it doesn't even matter what is the texture underneath and what is going on. Probably some kind of tool. Here it gives a little bit more of a contrast of the texture that you have on the top, which is shiny, and so you really manage to capture also the textures of the outfits, the two contrasts. So well done, beautiful work, Elena.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've just got the image up on my screen. See, the only thing I would say, because I thought this collection was an absolute gift to illustrators. There were so many incredible outfits and proportions, and I do think that you have captured the leather really well. The layering of all the different types of mark making has created some really interesting textures for the skirt. The only thing I would say is she was wearing incredible makeup. The makeup going around the eyes that kind of went under the eyes. It looks kind of like a very silvery, glittery line. It was quite hard, and I really liked that. And maybe you can do another version that also includes that, because it was really good makeup.
Yeah, thank you.
And to finish, I will add what my colleague said before. Yes, I agree with the fact that the texture, we can really feel them, the movement. We think that this is a drawing, it's a two-dimensional things, and we feel the movement. But to make a comparison with photography, about what we said before, photography, you have an outfit, you have something, you take it in photos, and this is that. And I have the sensation when I see what you did, for example, it's a compliment. What I will say this is that I have seen the show, so I know what is it. And at the same time, for me, it's different. It means that you did what I see, and at the same time, you did something else, but in a good way, So congrats for that.
Yay, cool.
Thank you.
Nice. So as always, because this is Connie's crit, I did some work as well, and I can't pass the opportunity to have it critiqued by the amazing panelists. So I'm just going to share my art with you. So I might just share my screen.
Yeah, Connie.
If you can see my screen, I did a little video. And a little drawing. So here is actually the still image of what, can everybody see this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've actually drawn, so I have a sketchbook, a 2022 sketchbook, which overlapped from 2021. And I'm drawing over all the drawings I absolutely hate. So you can see a drawing, like a face in the back here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I feel like it adds another layer on top.
Yeah.
And I think I'm very conscious of, doing collage. When I was doing collage, I wasted a lot of paper. And, when I was teaching classes, there was a lot of paper that's just gone into the bin. And sometimes I feel like those old drawings can be drawn on top of, and then it can create something new again. I'm just being eco now, very conscious of the materials that we use and the waste that we make and the drawings we hate. And sometimes when you're not confident enough in the drawing, you just want to you just draw a little bit and you're like, I hate it, and you just want to throw it away and never look at it again. But I know if you're an illustrator, you know this feeling. But once you get that paper and I feel like you have to face it, just face how bad it is, and then drawing on top of it and making it something else makes you feel like you got over that. You just got over it, and then you can move on. So it's almost like a cathartic closure for me. But yeah, it's interesting, and I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. And this year, for my New Year's resolution, is going back to art school. That's my theme of this year. And obviously, if you guys don't know, Heather was my tutor at CSM. And she was amazing, because I think the advice that you gave me at the time was, I already knew how to draw because I went to illustration school before. And then you came to me and you told me, you already know how to do that, so why are you just repeating yourself? And then you told me to move on. I think that always stayed with me. You're like, do something that you've never done before. Do something that's different, because you can always go back to what you already know. And so I want to say thank you, because that really stuck with me even till now. So every time I'm doing something, I always hear you say that to me. Like, you already know how to do this, so move on. But that really has challenged me to do a lot more other techniques and materials.
That's very kind of you, thank you. And you always were, brilliant illustrator, even then, charging ahead of everybody else and producing amazing. I remember the drawing that you did for the final exhibition. Everybody else did a photograph, Connie did a drawing. It's like, yay. If I look at these, so I love the unfinished drawing, because knowing your work as I do, that one feels like you have stopped halfway through, and I actually like it there. I'm pleased that you chose the balaclavas, because I thought in the show, oh, they're great, they're going to look great in a drawing. I wonder who'll do those. So I'm glad that you chose those. And the figures are well proportioned, and there's nice kind of fluidity, and we feel like they're moving. You kind of invest in the belief of everything that actually happened at the show, because it was like poetry. But I just love the one on the left hand side, the one that's not quite finished, with the line that comes around the face and kind of into the eyes. We're beginning to get a little approach towards that strange makeup that they had, that made them feel slightly otherworldly and very contemporary. So that would, and I love the overdrawing. I wouldn't, and if you hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have noticed. But then you kind of see her face peering out from from that white dress. Yeah, no, great.
Did you notice the tape? Because that's very Central St. Martin's.
I wasn't sure if that was you sticking something together.
Yeah, that's what everybody did in their sketchbooks.
Yeah, too much masking tape. But no, it looks great.
Thank you. Anybody else have feedback for me?
Beautiful, Connie. I just received all the feelings that you had. It's you managed to capture that with your movements. Definitely, with the layering of the color, your thinking process. Also, I can see the whole process. That is really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And as Heather said, we love unfinished illustrations. I think the romantic. They leave a little bit of a space for the free thinking of the of whoever is watching it. So beautiful work.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
You know what I like, it's I find fascinating with Illustrator and with what you do is that with just few things, we see that you create slowly the dress, for example, the white on the left and on the right, and also on the left, there is no many details. And I have sensation with the blue, you do like a very quickly, and at the same time you create texture, you create so many different details, you share the essence of the show, and we have the sensation that this is like at the same time, like a dance. You know, sometimes we see a dance, we have the sensation when we see it that it is easy, but we know that to make it easy, this is a real work and a real talent, you know.
Oh,
Just
thank
to
you.
show something with,
I do think life drawing helps so much. Like I try to practice weekly or, you know, as many times as possible. And it does help you just do the and not get precious with the time, because I feel like as artists, we're always fighting with ourselves. I'm sure you all artists feel this way when you're like it's like a mental fight between you and the page. And you're like, I'm sure you get that a lot, Francesco, as well, when you're drawing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Battle.
I think it gets better with age. I feel like when I was younger, it was really a conflict, let's say. But I think it's getting better now. But yeah, I do agree. It's part of the process, and of course we enjoy it. I mean, not all the time, but most of the time. But coming back to this, I do love it. Of course, I do love your work. Really, it's an inspiration to me. And I think where I love about this, it's like this a perfect case for me. Like your work, it's really fit the aesthetic of the brand in this case. I think like you could work with a designer easily, honestly, because like your two aesthetics are quite alike to me. That's like my vision.
Oh, thank you. Gotta get that job now. Where's that job? All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. I love what Patrick said here. The work is like a code, Da Vinci sketchbook, leaves some unfinished areas, give places for the viewer to fill in. The essence is more important than the reality. And yeah, that's what we've been talking about, how we can differ our illustration to not be photographs as much as we get tempted. And I have this personally where I wanted to make it look like realistic as possible. And I have to fight it. I have to fight that control over my drawing and just let it breathe and just have a life on its own. And I think that's more important now than ever in terms of fashion illustration.
I think it's like the artist's task, actually. Like for me, it's the artist's task, you know, trying to reach a good compromise, you know, between like illustration and like the fidelity to reality. I think for me, it's really the artist's task, the big compromise.
Yes, I know. It's the fight. But thank you everybody so much. It was such a lovely talk and so insightful, and I felt like it was really positive to have this kind of discussion and, you know, invite artists from around the world. And we hope to open this up to more people so they can enjoy the benefits of, you know, talking to the amazing panel and just spreading the love of drawing. Yeah. So yeah, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.